And tonight, the game many Thunder fans have had marked on their calendar for a while now. OKC and Boston in a finals-level matchup at the Paycom Center, and history could be made in this game. SGA hopes to break Wilt Chamberlain's record for consecutive games with 20 or more points. And this morning, we are checking in with someone very close to the Thunder star, his dad. So let's welcome in, say good morning to Vaughn Alexander. Vaughn, thanks so much for being here. Good morning to you.
Thank you guys for having me. Good morning to you too.
It is great to have you here because tonight, Shai, he is hoping to break this record. And you, as his dad, I mean, how does it feel for you to just see your son on the verge of something as great as this?
Very humbling experience. It makes you feel really proud. Obviously, you know, all the hard work that we put in is actually coming to fruition. And like I said, it just makes you know that, you know what, you did the right thing as a father, obviously. And we're about to just make history right now, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep it going.
Keep it going. And Thunder fans, they've been watching Shai's career, you know, ever since he got here to OKC. Been huge fans of him ever since. And, you know, the NBA Finals last year, MVP, a lot has happened for your son. But what sticks out to you? And what can you say, just as a dad, how proud you are of your son?
Like you said, a lot has happened. He's been NBA Finals MVP, MVP of the league, done so much different things and accolades, and we're very proud of that, obviously. But like I said, I keep telling people I'm more proud of what he's done off the court. His personality, who he is as a human being, matches who he is on the court. So that's what I'm really proud of, and I take a lot of pride in just knowing that that's something that he's going to get better at every day as well, too. Because we're not just trying to say, okay, we've made it, we figured out life, we figured out the game. I think life and basketball, they kind of coincide, meaning that even when you get to the highest peak, as like say an MVP, you can still get a little bit better. Yeah. How do you challenge yourself to get better? Well, even in life, you know, I mean, you do well in life, I don't know, maybe you're doing well at your job or whatever, you still got to wake up one day and say, how do I get better? And that's what I challenge myself to do, and that's what he challenges himself to do. So I think that's why we know we're going to run it back for Thunder, and we know we're going to get better. We got some more years out here.
And I love the confidence that I'm hearing from you and that I see from SGA every time he's on the court, and even when he's off the court too. We're going to talk more about that, but I want to talk about Shai. He stays calm and cool under pressure, okay? We see him in these moments a lot. And I want to ask you, you know, how did you all develop that as he was growing up to this point where you can be down in a quarter and Shai never loses his cool? He stays calm, like I said, calm and cool.
That's a great question, great observation. I think that's one of his big character traits that is one of the best character traits he has. Why I say that is you ask, where did he get that from? And I think when we were younger, I think you're a product of your environment. Obviously, my parents were like that. I just believe that life is it's a game, it's a race, but it's not a race to the finish. It's not about who finishes. It's not a quick race. It's a calm, take your time and get to the finish line. So let's, for example, in a game, you hit a jump shot and there's still 18 minutes left in the game. There's no reason to be beating off your chest and doing backflips and cartwheels when, guys, there's still 18 minutes, so we got to actually win the game first. Now, if you win the game, now you can do all the cartwheels and backflips you want. So if you notice Shai might hit a jump shot, you won't know if he made it by the expression on his face, or even only missed it. He might miss a shot, it looks the same. And that's just keeping it even keel. That's just saying, okay, I'm not getting too high, I'm not getting too low. And I think that translates to life, right? Yeah. You do something in life that's really good in your own little personal world, in that game of life, well, the game's not over, guys. Right? So I'm not going to beat off my chest if I did something really, I accomplished the goal. I'm going to try to set a new one. I try to set a new one, and set a new one until I finish the game, which is a game of life, right? So even in life, we're like that, but on the court, we're even more like that. So we're not going to be doing these dark backflips, and you're not going to see Shai do that, right? After we win now, we might take Nick Gallo and do all this, put 10 towels over his head, because we can do whatever we want now, we won. But if you see people's face when they lose, you ever see these guys' face after they lose, they walk out the court and say, right? So let's not be jumping for joy and then 10 minutes later be like this. It doesn't make any sense. Wait till the game's over and do all the rejoicing you want.
He's always thinking about that next play. This season, the Thunder, they have had, you know, a pretty remarkable season, even this one. And I want to ask you about your son's leadership, because what sticks out to you there? When we talk about staying cool and always thinking of that next move, a lot of the team where they are right now, I think Shai's leadership has gotten them to where they are.
100%. And he's definitely a great leader, but let's give the team some credit to his peers around him. They're also stars in their role. Let's be real, right? Yeah. And you need a team to do this. This is not an individual sport. This is not tennis. So as much as we give Shea all this praise, we like to, he likes that this is like Shea's like this too. He likes to give the credit to the guys around him, which is hence is why you see all these guys at the interview. We're all taking the credit together. We're not going to take this credit alone because, like I said, he can't do this alone. And I think that's his leadership skills, showing people that I rate all you guys. I don't just rate you. I don't just rate you. I need all you guys to win. So and that makes them all stronger together. So that's his leadership, showing that no one's better than anybody out here, right? And that's what I try to show these kids in the streets too. That yeah, Shea did it, but guess what? You guys, anybody can do it, right? You just got to have that all one, we're all one type of mentality.
And I want to talk quickly here about just Shea's, performance off the court too, because he does a lot in the community. How important is that for him to show the skills that he has on the court, off the court as well?
Like I said to you before, I'm more proud of him off the court than on the court. And guess what? He does a lot on the court. Yeah. So if I'm more proud of him off the court, you just know that he's a real beast off the court as well. See? So it's just, like I said, he's a product of his environment. We came up with humble beginnings. So I think Shea remembers being a kid, remembers wanting all this stuff that these kids want, remember that if I could get an autograph from my favorite player, what I would have done for it. So I'm going to come on and sign 450 jerseys before the game, just to make sure everybody gets what I wanted when I was growing up, because I remember I'm not too big to forget. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
Yeah, Vaughn, I appreciate you coming on, giving us this insight into
SGA.
SGA.
You having me here so much. Thank you.
This is a huge night for you. I know you're going to the game, and this is going to be something that you'll probably remember for a very long time.
Definitely. We're about to do something like again, break history, and it's really, really humbling to me because I still pinch myself sometimes. Wait a minute, that's my son? Yeah, that's your son. So really and truly, we're just really appreciative of what the opportunities we've been given. I believe a lot of kids can do is what Shea's doing, maybe not to the level of Shea's crazy, but a lot of kids can be in the NBA and be successful if they have the same level playing field as everybody else. And that's what we try to provide and let everybody know that we're just normal, but we just work harder than most people. And if you work harder than us, then you can do what we do.
Well, I can see the love and pride on your face right now. Thanks again.